Every year, lots of NFL players change teams either through the free agency period or getting released or traded. But what if that just never happened? Because today, in Madden, I put every single NFL player back on their original team. Whether they were drafted as a first-round pick or signed as a UDFA that didn't make the team, I put them back. And we are gonna see how every NFL team does through simulation, just purely based off of how well they draft. And I thought I would user the worst NFL team in this roster. At least the lowest overall, the Arizona Cardinals at only a 77. Not necessarily who I would have guessed, but we are gonna see today who becomes the best NFL team based off their drafting. And if we can save the Arizona Cardinals, who at least I guess technically in my opinion are the worst drafting team. But this is a yearly tradition on the channel at this point, so I really hope y'all enjoy. This took me forever to set up. So super quick, if you enjoy the video, be sure to leave a like. It sounds weird, but it really helps the channel. And the last time I did this, I set the goal of 4,500 likes and we got over 5,000. So if we can once again get to 5,000 likes, I'll set the same promise as I did last time. I will do whatever challenge the most liked comment on this video says. So let me know in the comments any goofy rebuild ideas, any just weird Madden challenge you want to see. And if this video gets 5,000 likes, I'll do that. Be sure to go down and like any good comments you see. Of course, leave a few suggestions if you want. And then very last thing, be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications because I'm gonna have a lot of fun rebuild challenges coming up. Super close to 85K. But all right, enough plugging, enough yapping. Let's get into this. And you know, I say enough yapping, but I want to go over these rosters. Feel free to skip ahead because this might take a minute, but also I don't know why you would because that's kind of the point of this video. But I want to go over the major players that every team regained, I guess. I don't know if that's the right word, but oh yeah, also if you're curious, at least for my custom rosters, the highest overall team, kind of surprisingly, well, I guess, the highest overall team is the Baltimore Ravens at an 85. Then right after them are the Chiefs and 49ers. Not necessarily a team I think of drafting super well. I mean, they're good at getting draft steals, but not usually great in the first round. I guess Nick Bosa was good, but the Raiders are also one of the lowest, kind of unsurprisingly. But anyway, the Bears regain Roquan Smith, David Montgomery, couple decent guards, Darnell Mooney. They are also a 78 overall. They didn't gain too many great players, just a couple. The Bengals regain Jesse Bates, Joe Mixon, Kevin Zeitler, Andy Dalton. The Bills, I actually, you know, looking through this, almost thought I forgot to give the Bills their old players, but they regained Tremaine Edmonds, Devin Singletary, Wyatt Teller, Stephon Gilmore, Harrison Phillips, a few good players, but nobody too insane. The Broncos get Von Miller back, Bradley Chubb, Justin Simmons, Jerry Jeudy, Javonte Williams. Definitely not bad. The Browns get Jabril Peppers, Nick Chubb, Baker Mayfield. Possibly one of the most, you know, interesting players of this whole challenge. Definitely looks like the Browns should have kept him. We'll see how they do here, but I mean, to be fair, the rest of their roster isn't too great. The Buccaneers get Carlton Davis, Jordan Whitehead. Nobody too crazy. Their starting QB is going to be Jameis Winston, though. Of course, as the Cardinals, we get Zach Allen, Hassan Reddick, Christian Kirk, Byron Murphy, Tony Jefferson. We'll be seeing a lot of them. The Chargers get Joey Bosa, Asante Samuel Jr., Hunter Henry. Pretty good for them. Chiefs, of course, get Tyreek Hill back. Not going to be injured in this world. L'Jarius Sneed. Things definitely haven't gone as well for him since he left. Colts get Bobby Okereke back, Ryan Kelly, Isaiah Rodgers, Malik Hooker, Julian Blackmon, Will Fries. Pretty decent for them. Commanders get Jonathan Allen, Kendall Fuller, Brian Robinson after just a few months, Montez Sweat, Morgan Moses, Cameron Curl, Antonio Gibson, Chase Young. Pretty solid. The Cowboys actually get Charvarius Ward. You might think he would be a Chief, but he was, I believe, a Cowboy as a UDFA and then didn't make the team, then went to the Chiefs. They also get Tony Pollard, DeMarcus Lawrence, Dalton Schultz, Xavier Woods, Chidobe Awuzie, Dorrance Armstrong, a team that gets a pretty good amount of players back. The Dolphins get Laramie Tunsil. A couple months ago would have gotten Minkah Fitzpatrick back and then just traded back for him. Also moved him to corner because this team had a lot of safeties. They get Christian Wilkins, Javon Holland, Brandon Jones, Andrew Van Ginkel, Mike Gesicki, Robert Hunt. The Eagles get Josh Sweat, TJ Edwards, Rasul Douglas, Raheem Mostert, Milton Williams, Williams back after a few months. Isaac Seumalo, Zach Ertz. The Falcons get Foye Oluokun, or I always struggle with his last name. Calvin Ridley, Grady Jarrett, Drew Dahlman, Nate Landman, who they maybe shouldn't have let go, Austin Hooper. The 49ers get DeForest Buckner, DJ Reed, Deebo Samuel, Trent Brown, Dre Greenlaw, Jimmy Ward, Jordan Mason, Talanoa Hufanga. Pretty good amount of players for them too. Unfortunately, no more Mac Jones here. The Giants, maybe the most painful team out of any of them. I don't know if they're necessarily the team that goes up in overall the most from like default rosters to these. I might have to check that, but they get Saquon Barkley, Xavier McKinney, Julian Love, Evan Ingram, Dalvin Tomlinson, Odell, I guess, BJ Hill, Daniel Jones, who as soon as he left has been playing really well. Go figure. Will Hernandez. Kind of a fall off, but like a few really good players. The Jags get Jalen Ramsey back, Quincy Williams, Mike Hilton, 41-year-old Mercedes Lewis. The Jets get Demario Davis, another old player, Leonard Williams, Sam Darnold, and Geno Smith, Blake Cashman, Frankie Louvu, Bryce Huff. This team isn't too bad. The Lions get TJ Hawkinson, creating a wild tight end duo. Matthew Stafford, only an 85 overall. I started these rosters before he started having a really good year this year, so my fault. Kyle Van Noy, Darius Slay, Quandre Diggs, DeAndre Swift, Jelani Tavai. The Packers actually don't have a 90 plus overall. I thought that was kind of surprising, but Aaron Jones, Jair Alexander, Devontae Adams, of course Aaron Rodgers is back. The Panthers get Christian McCaffrey back, Brian Burns, DJ Moore, Shaq Thompson, Jeremy Chin. The Patriots get Joe Tooney back, Kenny Moore. I didn't remember that he was ever a Patriot. I think also for just an offseason. Jacoby Myers, Juwan Bentley, Landon Roberts. I think they have the most QBs out of any team. Mac Jones, Jacoby Brissett, Jimmy Garoppolo. Lots of QBs are back. The Raiders get Josh Jacobs, Khalil Mack, John Simpson, Nate Hobbs, Maurice Hurst. They are going to have Aiden O'Connell as their starting QB. We'll see how that goes. The Rams get Cooper Kupp, John Franklin Myers, Jared Goff, Cam Akers. We'll see how they do. The Baltimore Ravens get Kyle Juszczyk, Zach Sealer, Darius Williams, Zadarius Smith, J.K. Dobbins, Deshaun Elliott, Marquise Brown, Gus Edwards, Orlando Brown Jr., good amount of players for them, Darren Waller. The Saints, this is another one of the painful ones. They get Trey Hendrickson, Zach Bond, CJ Gardner-Johnson, Marshawn Lattimore, David Onyemata, Paulson Adebo, Caden Ellis, Marcus Davenport, Marcus Williams. Wasn't great in his final year for the Ravens, but he was pretty great for a while. They're still going to have Spencer Rattler, though. But the Seahawks, my favorite team, Bobby Wagner, DK Metcalf, Russell Wilson is going to be the starting QB. Poona Ford, Tyler Lockett, Damian Lewis, Jordan Brooks, Will Dissly. The Steelers get James Conner, George Pickens, Javon Hargrave, Najee Harris, Deontay Johnson, Devin Bush. Coming down to the end here, the Texans get DeAndre Hopkins back, Jonathan Grenard, DJ Reader, Justin Reed, Jadeveon Clowney, and of course, Deshaun Watson is back. The Titans get Derrick Henry, AJ Brown, another one of the painful ones, but I mean, this one was kind of to be expected, but there's a big fall off. Kevin Byard, Jonnu Smith, Daquan Jones, Elijah Molden. Still a pretty good amount of players though. Robert Spillane, Harold Landry, Jack Gibbons. Just naming the guys above a 75 overall. And finally, the Minnesota Vikings regain Daniil Hunter, Stephon Diggs, Cam Bynum, Adam Thielen. Well, never mind. I guess I already did that. Eric Kendricks, Ezra Cleveland, and they're still going to be stuck with JJ McCarthy. Hopefully he can play better than he did in the first few games of this season. But all right, now that y'all know the teams for the most part, I hope I didn't forget to move any players back to certain teams. Let me know if I missed any. Obviously, this was a lot to check. But now we'll get into the simulation part of this. So we'll see which teams become the best. We are, of course, going to rebuild the Cardinals, try to make them not the lowest overall team by the end of this. But let's get to the midseason point. Nah, we'll just get straight to the end of the first year, and we'll see how these teams do. Okay, at the end of the year, we end up going 7-10. Not as bad as we probably should have been, so I guess we'll take that. As the Cardinals, I see the Raiders went 13-4 with tied for the second lowest overall team. The Bills were the best, also 13-4. Buccaneers, Steelers, Ravens were all good. Some of those teams make sense. But who was the worst? The Patriots at 4-13. Also the Browns down here, the Saints, the Bears, the Chiefs somehow. Unfortunately, I couldn't keep teams from releasing players, so other teams signed them. So this isn't wasn't 100% pure. Like, I think the Saints, yeah, they signed Jacoby Brissett. Did they end up playing Rattler, or who did they end up playing? Oh, they didn't. He wasn't great. Okay, never mind. The Raiders did keep Aiden O'Connell, and they went, of course, 13-4 with him. I guess it wasn't really him helping that out, though. Oh yeah, they have Josh Jacobs, the best performing player in Madden. That'll do it. But let's check out our stats as the Cardinals, then we'll check out, you know, yearly awards, some of the NFL stats, how players did back on their old teams. Kyler Murray is never great in Madden. I think I've seen him win MVP like once or twice, but outside of that, he's usually pretty horrible. Trey Benson was okay. Marvin Harrison Jr. at least got 1,000 yards, 900 for Kirk, 800 for McBride. Blocking wasn't too horrible based on what I'm used to. Actually was really good based on what I'm used to, even though we had a 66 overall starting, a 69, a 73. But Cody Simon, 164 tackles, 18 TFLs for Reddick led the team, and sacks, 16.5 for Zaven Collins, 10 for Zach Allen, 9.5 for Reddick. So that's why we kinda overperformed. Our pass rush was insane, and picks 3 for Thompson, 2 for Simon. He had a really good rookie year, and then 1 for 4 different players. But let's check out yearly awards. Gonna be interesting to see who wins MVP. I kinda hope it's a weird player. It probably won't be. We'll see. It's Patrick Mahomes on the 6-11 Chiefs. All right. Any players that went back to their original team? Jared Goff at 8. I kind of expected to see him up here. And Josh Jacobs at 10 as a running back. Little bit of a side note here. I was doing a franchise to try to figure out what the good playbooks are, especially on defense. I guess I went a year past it, but I used the Bengals offense. I had Puka Nacua as the slot receiver and the wide receiver 1, and he had this kind of season right here. Almost 2,500 yards and 22 touchdowns, and wasn't even up there for MVP. Like, that's wild. Anyway, NFC or AFC Offensive Player of the Year, unsurprisingly, goes to Josh Jacobs. Derrick Henry also up there. Khalif Raymond up there. I knew we were going to see at least one wide receiver 3. NFC Offensive Player of the Year goes to Puka Nacua. Christian McCaffrey at 4, back on the Panthers. Saquon at 5. Olamide Zaccheaus at number 6. David Montgomery at 9. But AFC Defensive Player of the Year goes to Greg Rousseau. Khalil Mack at 3. Jermaine Pratt at 6. NFC Defensive Player of the Year goes to Abdul Carter as a rookie. Princely Umanmielen at 2 as a rookie. Okay, Zaven Collins up there. That's cool. Brian Burns at 6, back on the Panthers. Daniil Hunter at 8. Dre Greenlaw at 9. And then let's see, any Cardinals up here for rookie awards? Cody Simon at 3 for Defensive Rookie of the Year. With the stats he had, I thought for sure he would win it, but I'm sure Abdul Carter had like 23 sacks or something ridiculous. No, 15.5. He had a lot of tackles for loss, but surprisingly only 1 player with over 20 sacks. Usually we have like 6. Oh yeah, and for this first year, I guess every year, let's give a player best performing returning player to their original team. Gonna say Josh Jacobs for this first year, obviously. I don't know if there's anyone that really comes close. I guess Brian Burns did really well. AJ Terrell had 8 picks. Marshawn Lattimore did really well, at least in terms of picks. Dante Jackson. Hassan Reddick was pretty good. But I'm curious to see who's gonna win this first Super Bowl. I don't know if I want it to be the Raiders or not with Aiden O'Connell at QB. I kind of hope that happens, actually. Or the Steelers with, I would assume, still Kenny Pickett at QB. Yeah, of course. We'll see. Of course, it's going to be a Giants-Titans Super Bowl. I swear, I've seen this Super Bowl like 6 times now. I don't know why. I guess it makes a little more sense in this world. Those teams definitely got a little better. They both have probably the 2 best running backs in the league. Looks like the Raiders unfortunately got upset round 1. The conference championship was 2 4 seeds, a 7 seed and a 6 seed. Shocker. So the Giants with Saquon Barkley, Xavier McKinney, however many other players against the Titans with A.J. Brown and Derrick Henry back. Who's going to win the first Super Bowl? It is going to be the Giants, 27-3, with, of course, Defensive Player of the Year as a rookie, Abdul Carter. I guess he wasn't the overall Defensive Player of the Year. That went to Greg Rousseau, but still. Definitely not the first Super Bowl I would have expected, but if I really thought about it, that might have been predictable just because I've seen it probably the most out of any Super Bowl so far. For whatever it's like the old, it's not as bad, but it's kind of like the old Chiefs Cowboys from Madden 23 or whenever that was. Maybe 24. Definitely not as bad as that, but I see this one a lot for whatever reason. But let's see, it looks like DeAndre Hopkins retires. Cam Hayward, not a player that moved teams, but still big name. Tyler Lockett retired. Morgan Moses, Kirk Cousins, Trent Williams. Ooh, well, I guess Kirk isn't a starter, but both of the Commanders' tackles retired. Joe Flacco, Kyle Juszczyk retired. Javon Hargrave. Okay, there might be too many names to go through here, but there were a lot of retirements apparently. Matthew Stafford, Demario Davis, Geno Smith, Devondre Campbell, Zach Ertz, Jawad Jordan retired after 2 years. Okay, sure. Travis Kelce. All right, that's probably all I'm going to go through. But back to the Cardinals rebuild here. One of our biggest needs heading into the season was linebacker, but I mean, Cody Simon really developed, had a great year. And I mean, I was going to focus on this offensive line, but of course it massively overperformed. I guess our two worst performing positions were probably running back and quarterback. I don't know if we're going to replace Kyler immediately, but I mean, if it would save us cap space, I might. Oh yeah, and that's another thing. Obviously, you can't turn free agency off. It would be cool if I could force teams to keep all their players, but I don't think that's something I could do. I would have to probably mess with a lot of settings. I don't know. So that's, of course, where the rebuild side of this comes in. So we'll see who's in free agency. There might not be many players at all this first year. Okay, I mean, Isaiah Pacheco, that could be a good option to upgrade at running back. Oh, he has some big offers. 3 5-star offers or whatever you want to call them. I don't know if we'll get him. But other than him, I don't know that we really need anyone here. It is a lot of running backs, tight ends, some okay receivers. Not a great QB class. Okay, yeah, I mean, I think the only player we're going to go for is Isaiah Pacheco. I guess if we don't get him, we can maybe go for Tyler Algier. But the last time I signed him, he was pretty horrible. So I don't know. We'll see. We don't get Pacheco. I'm not that surprised, but Algier? Broncos have a big offer. Looks like we're sticking with Trey Benson. Didn't do anything in free agency, but definitely didn't fit what we needed, at least for the most part. But all right, in the draft, we pick at number 12. I don't really know what I want to do here. There's some decent looking QBs that we could maybe get. I would take Kazim Smith, only 20 years old at QB. There are some really good looking running backs too. If one of these two are available, might have to take them, maybe. I don't know that they will be because they're both supposed to go 2 and 3, but we'll just see. Okay, I think Kazim Smith is still available. Sam Firth is also still here. I don't know that he looks quite as good. Oh, he's a strong arm QB though. Wait, he's a strong arm with great throw power, but McCann is not a strong arm with elite throw power. I'm gonna guess McCann's a higher overall, but Keem Smith is 20 years old in Madden. That's like having a superpower. Hopefully he has hidden dev. Rank 35, not too bad. Does have hidden. Okay, good. Gonna be our new starting QB. I do not trust Kyler Murray in Madden at all. I guess maybe if we went with the Bengals playbook, he would do well, but like any QB would do well with the Bengals playbook. But all right, round 2. There's still some good looking running backs. I don't think that's what I'm gonna do necessarily. Oh, okay, I was gonna go with a center, but he got picked. Maybe I am gonna take running back then. I kind of like Charlie Hicks, a power back with good speed, great acceleration, elite jumping, great strength, a break tackle, a carry. I wish he had one more A rating, but looks pretty good. How does Overton look? Ooh, not as athletic, but more power. See, spin move as a power back. Where's he supposed to go? 61, so we got to pick between them. Let's go Overton. He's interesting. Oh, rank 52. Okay, never mind. Does have hidden dev at least. Don't know if that was the right pick though. Just always go with the athlete in Madden is what I need to remember, unless it's a defensive tackle. Ooh, this guy looks good. Max Hawkins. We don't need a receiver, but might take him at some point. We do need a lineman though. I'll probably go with Josh Villa here. Rank 26. We'll take that. And last pick, let's go with Max Hawkins out of Oregon State. Slot receiver with 3 great athletic traits. He might be a pretty good player. I mean, he does have a few F ratings. We'll see though. Rank 66. That's it. Normal dev. This was an underwhelming draft. I thought him and that running back were going to be like top 15 talents. That's tough. But all right, here's how we did in the draft as the Cardinals. Kazim Smith, decent player, 75 overall. Not technically worth the pick, but I mean, he should be pretty soon. Should develop very, very, very quickly as a a 20 overall. And then Overton, he's a 74, whatever. Villa's a 75. This was a decent draft. I also took Brett Sheldon. I sorted by tackle for defensive tackles. He was a super hard one to pick. He's actually listed as a speed rusher. Okay, I was gonna say he was listed as a nose tackle. That's interesting. I didn't notice he only has normal dev, but oh well. But there is an 87 overall running back, Emmanuel Ellerby. Wasn't there an actual, like, Saints player named Emmanuel Ellerby? Okay, never played for the Saints. I swear there was an Ellerby on the Saints, though. I don't know, whatever. But yeah, 87 overall running back. 82 overall tackle to the Patriots. They probably needed one. There were a lot of receivers that went in the same range. I guess a big run on good receivers. We definitely could have picked a little better of a running back, though. There was McAllister. He's a 75 overall, but already 23. I guess we should have picked Carroll. Yeah, he would have been a better pick. And the game froze. It says, please wait in the bottom right. All right. Interesting draft class. We did all right, but I want to look at if any teams made any major changes at QB. I guess we would have noticed, but I still want to check. Oh yeah, I guess there were retirements. So Kari Randall, a rookie QB, is going to be the Lions' new quarterback. They also have Hendon Hooker. They might play him, maybe, at some point. The Raiders drafted a new QB, Clayton McCann. The Saints are still going with Spencer Rattler, though, at least for now. The Seahawks still have Russell Wilson at 37. The Steelers are still going Kenny Pickett. Bucks are still going Jameis Winston. How did he do, by the way? Oh, I was looking at real life. He actually did really well. I'm wondering if we should trade Kyler Murray, though. Would any team really want him for, like, a decent pick? Maybe the Saints, because Spencer Rattler was not great last year. Okay, we'll trade him for a second to the Saints. Get that big contract out of here. I feel like that's fair value. He's not even 30 yet. He's a pretty good overall, just didn't play well. I'm going to ignore that because that's not my problem. I'm just going to go off his overall. I mean, if we're going off of overall, maybe I should have gotten even more, but I'll just factor the playing bad tax into it a little bit. But all right, here is a look at the Cardinals heading into year 2. Definitely didn't make, too many upgrades without signing any free agents, but at least up to an 80, drafted decently well, looking solid. Are we still the lowest overall? Let me check that. Okay, we're tied with the Raiders at least, and the Jags, and the Dolphins, and the Commanders. Kind of surprising. It looks like now the highest overall, the Chiefs are an 87. Okay, they went 6-11 last year. Keep that in mind. So the Chiefs are the highest, and we are tied with a bunch of teams as the lowest overall at an 80. But all right, let's get into the year once again, and we're definitely hoping for more chaos. But okay, we are 3-3 at the midseason. Not bad at all. We did just lose 26-8 to the Cowboys, but Kazim Smith has been off to a good start. Oh yeah, I also forgot to mention, I just decided to switch to the Bengals offensive playbook because I want to try to get Kazim Smith offensive rookie of the year. I'm trying to see how high of an overall we can get him up to. Unsurprisingly, only has star dev, but I mean, if we can get him offensive rookie of the year, that won't really matter, so we'll see. The O-line isn't doing too bad. Might bench Gaines, but not too bad. We do have a few re-signings, though. We'll re-sign Garrett Williams, 6 years, 118. He takes it. That's a long deal. Zaven Collins somehow didn't get superstar dev, having 16.5 sacks. I don't know why 15 tackles for loss gets you superstar dev, but 15 sacks doesn't. Like, I don't know. But he resigns. Michael Wilson, we'll see. Seems kind of upgradable. Then the rest are just backups, it looks like, for the most part. Or like low level starters. So we'll get to the end of the year. Up to an 81 overall now, at least. I don't want to spoil who the best and worst teams are yet. I kind of like half look, but I didn't really take anything in. So we'll see. Okay, we end up going 9-8 in year 2, though. Not bad. We did have a good offense. I still don't know a good defensive playbook. I did that whole franchise and I still couldn't find one that consistently did well. The Giants always have like the best defense in the league. Watch, they won't have it here for once. No, they do. But whenever I use it, it's dead last. It's weird. So I just use the Panthers still, but it's not amazing. But anyway, Kazim Smith, 4,700 yards, 44 touchdowns, 9 picks as a rookie, despite getting sacked 65 times. Good lord. Trey Benson was good in the few carries he got. Only 600 yards, but still. But 1,700 yards, 21 touchdowns for Marvin Harrison Jr., 1,000 for Christian Kirk. McBride was pretty good, but blocking, these are honestly pretty tame numbers for Madden. This wasn't loud-ass car. Hopefully that didn't come through, but I've seen much worse individually. Just the whole line, the line as a whole was horrible. But Cody Simon, 167 tackles, 15 TFLs for Reddick, and sacks. 16.5 for Reddick, 16 for for Collins, 8.5 for Allen. Picks 4 for Cody Simon. He has been way better than I expected, but 3 for Murphy and Thompson, then 1 for 4 different players. MVP goes to Joe Burrow, though. Kazim Smith at 2 as a rookie. Jared Goff up there again. Sam Darnold back on the Jets at 10. AFC Offensive Player of the Year goes to Joe Burrow. I see Tyler Boyd up there. Offensive Player of the Year goes to Puka Nacua again for the NFC. Marvin Harrison Jr. at 2. Kazim Smith at 7. AFC Defensive Player of the Year goes to TJ Watt. Khalil Mack and Andrew Van Ginkel up there again. Was this the exact same list as last year? At least top 4? I don't know. But Bradley Chubb up there back on the Broncos. NFC goes to Kayvon Thibodeau, the other Giants edge rusher in this world. The other starter with no more Brian Burns. Hassan Reddick at 4. Zaven Collins at 6. Cody Simon at 8. But Offensive Rookie of the Year obviously goes to Kazim Smith. So that's huge. Man, we could have made the playoffs. We lost the last 2 games of the year by a combined 3 points. I stopped the simulation at one point. I think it was like week 12 because I forgot to bench our center and we were 6-4. I guess it's not too much better than 9-8, but I had hope that we could make the playoffs, but we very well could next year. But all right, once again, oh yeah, I forgot to check who were the best and worst teams this year. The Giants were the best team. Go figure. The Ravens and Packers were also really good. The Saints were the worst team with Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray sucks in this game, man. I don't know why. Yeah, he was not great. He was better than Spencer Rattler was last year at least, but wasn't great. This Ellerby guy is, though. Oh yeah, and we're definitely not the lowest overall team anymore. We're up to an 84. There's still 81 overall teams. I don't see an 80 anymore, but the Raiders, Jags, Commanders, and that's it, are 81 overalls. The Chiefs are still an 87 as the highest. Did they even make the playoffs? They went 8-9. All right, cool. But the Browns made the playoffs. The Giants went 13-4. But we are going to have a Texans-Packers Super Bowl. Interesting. The Packers are another team I see in the Super Bowl a lot in Madden 26. The Texans, not so much. I'm hoping the Texans have improved their offensive line here. No, they definitely haven't. I don't know how they're in the Super Bowl. Do they still have Kenyon Green starting? I hope not. Okay, apparently not. This is definitely an interesting team to be in the Super Bowl. I mean, their defense looks good, obviously, but this O-line, man. But all right, let's see who wins Super Bowl number 2. We'll see who wins the most by the end of this, but it is going to be the Texans with that disgusting offensive line. Super Bowl MVP somehow goes to CJ Stroud. Somehow didn't die throughout the year. I guess ours isn't that much better, though. Ours is maybe worse, but I mean, at least that was reflected with the sack numbers. But in free agency, once again, not a super great class. Might be even worse than the last one. Not really any running backs I trust to do super well. There are some interesting QBs. Obviously, we're not going to sign one, but we'll see what teams these guys go to. Possibly will be starters. I mean, they're asking a decent amount of money, so probably. Jameis Winston is here. How'd he do last year? Pretty well. I'm kind of surprised he didn't get star dev. I guess he wasn't that great by Madden standards, but still. But anyway, we are going to go for just these few players. Obviously, not a lot we can do, but Marvin Mims, to be, I guess, our new wide receiver 3, does have star dev. He's 2 years younger than Michael Wilson, so we'll see if he develops. Not much of a commitment, though, so whatever. And then we'll sign 3, I guess, UDFAs last year with star dev that didn't get re-signed, just at positions we're really desperate at. But let's see if they sign. We do get all 4. Okay, cool. And it looks like Mac Jones is going to replace Jameis Winston, and Kenny Pickett just goes back to the Steelers. I want to see where Anthony Richardson goes. He doesn't have any offers, though. Wow, he didn't get signed in free agency. The Commanders signed 2 running backs. All right. The Bears were busy, it looks like. Teams must already be broke or something, probably. But all right, this year in the draft, we pick at 17. I guess that's not a great pick for being 9-8. We might have to trade up. The player I obviously want is Phillip Meadows, top 5 talent at guard, probably our biggest need, at least on paper. Well, not just on paper. We allowed 65 sacks last year, but if we don't get him, I don't really know what I'm gonna do. The tight ends look good, but we really don't need a tight end. The pass rushers look good if they're still there, but we also don't need a pass rusher. I mean, we will, because Hassan Reddick isn't super young, but we don't right now. Man, is it just me, or do linebackers kind of suck if you just use the default normal draft classes? I don't know, I never see any good ones, and if I do, they go super early. Should we trade up? We do still have a few needs. I feel like we can't afford to. We'll just see if he's still here. He might be. I don't see him. Yeah, pretty easy decision. then Phillip Meadows out of Washington. Let's take him. Rank 5, I kind of figured because he had F lead block and not like crazy strength or anything, but I mean, still very well worth the pick. But all right, round 2, we have the first pick of round 2. We could take a chance on a running back. Like Gilchrist looks pretty good. Urban looks okay, but I don't know. Trey Benson was pretty good last year for the few carries he got. I guess his numbers were kind of inflated by a 75-yard run, but still. We could go Tyrese Perryman here. Looks like the best linebacker. I mean, maybe Slate is better. He might be. Somehow he's gonna be worse, but I don't see it. He looks good. Man, let's go with Marco Tafoya at guard. The only other first to second round talent, I think, surprisingly. Usually I see a ton of them, but also 23, unfortunately. Not a scheme fit, but I mean, we might just change the scheme. We'll see. We'll take him though. Ranked 29, got him at 33. Not too bad for how desperate of a need O-line is. And then 17, hopefully the linebacker is still here. He is. Curtis Slate looked better than the other one, but I mean, maybe there's something I'm missing. I guess he had slightly worse hit power, I think it was, but I mean, we'll take him. Rank 32, we will easily take that. Hidden Dev. This was a pretty good draft class, especially for just picking for need. You know what? Let's go even one more, maybe value pick. Ethan Blythe. We need linebacker depth. Maybe not great value, but decent. Rank 53, got him at 81. Hidden Dev. Great draft. But all right, here's how we did in the draft. It was pretty good. This must not have been that strong of a draft class, as if Meadows was a top 5 talent at only a 78. I mean, there were 4 80+ overalls, just kind of a big fall off right after that. But Meadows, really good player. I guess we also could have gotten Kirk Reichard. Maybe it would have been a better pick. He's 2 years younger, but oh well. He's not a scheme fit, so maybe never mind to that. But Tafoya, he's a 75. That was a pretty good pick. Slate, also a 75. Then Blythe and Beach are both 73s. And the CPU actually made a couple decent picks. Patrick Sharp, does he have hidden? He does. Okay. Could end up starting for us at some point if one of our linemen really underperform. And then the CPU picked a 58 overall QB, but whatever. Ooh, Scrambler, you say? Is he a good? I always gotta check the horrible Scrambler QBs. 46 overall running back. Okay, never mind. 50 overall receiver. I guess not too horrible. I mean, horrible, but not that much worse than he is at QB. There was a 55 overall tight end that got drafted though. Not ideal, but all right, let's get into year 3, right? And let's hope we can make the playoffs for the first time. We're like right there. But all right, here's how we're looking heading into year 3. Up to an 84 overall, not bad. We should develop a lot more throughout the year too. This is a really young team. 3 rookies starting on the O-line, a lot of year 2 players. Oh, I don't know what the depth chart did to our linebackers. I gotta change that. But defense has a lot of superstars. Most of them, I think all of them gained other than Baker. Our defense has had individual players do well, but hasn't done that well as a whole yet. Hopefully it can change this year. I don't know if I mentioned, but I'm using the Panthers playbook, so it's not great, but it's the one I've tried that hasn't finished last in the league yet, so it is what it is. Oh yeah, and I want to see any other QBs change teams that I somehow missed. I did turn trades off, so there shouldn't be any trades. Looks like the Jags drafted a QB. They drafted one last year too, apparently. Zach Payton, 82 overall QB. The Seahawks signed Jameis Winston. They have Oscar Knox to be their starter this year, but not many changes. I guess we would know through free agency. But all right, let's get into this season. We should be a good team this year. It's not 2028 yet, so we'll see what happens. Okay, at the mid-season, we are 3-3. Looks like we're about mid on offense and defense. We, of course, have the worst run game in the league, but that's not a surprise with the Bengals offensive playbook. The only one we really could be better than is the Bengals. The defense isn't allowing many yards, though, just allowing points, which isn't great. So I guess maybe they're starting in bad situations. Maybe our special teams isn't doing great. I don't know. But for re-signings, we have Paris Johnson, Trey Benson, who's done pretty well, Dadrian Taylor-Demerson, Budda Baker, gonna be 32, Byron Murphy, gonna be 30, Christian Kirk is 30. We'll see who we want to bring back. Zach Allen, Hassan Reddick. Is that all of them? I never know when it's gonna end. Okay, yeah, but we'll re-sign Paris Johnson. We'll go very player-friendly, probably gonna have to. Not cheap, 5 years, 166 mil, but how's he been doing? Let me check that. 10 sacks? I mean, I know this is a hard offense to be the left tackle in, but like, Oh, okay, no, I'm getting this mixed up with the experimental franchise I did. I was the Cardinals for a year, and Paris Johnson allowed 30 sacks in that, but that wasn't here, thankfully. I don't know, last year he wasn't great. This year he's on pace to not be great. We'll see at the end of the year. If he was interested, I would probably do it, just because I don't think any left tackle is going to play well, but we'll see. But Trey Benson is back. Taylor Demerson is kind of cheap, so we'll just go 5 years, whatever that was, 50-ish. Baker will re-sign once he regresses. Murphy, we'll give a 1 year. We have so much cap space. I don't want to just waste it, but like, we're definitely not going to spend all this in the next offseason unless it's an insane free agent class. But Zach Allen doesn't re-sign, and that's all we're going to deal with for now, I think. So let's get to the end of the year. I might bench... I don't know if anyone's bench worthy. The closest is Paris Johnson, but I don't know who we would put in instead of him. Maybe Patrick Sharp is almost bench worthy, but I've seen worse. He's borderline. We'll try Richie, sure. But let's get to the end of the year and we will see how the league does. Hopefully we can make the playoffs for the first time though. Okay, finally we do make the playoffs, going only 9-8. Not ideal, but at least we made the playoffs. Ooh, I was just saying at the start of this year, I don't think I've seen the Panthers playbook be the worst in the league yet, and it almost was. The Bucks had a good defense. People sometimes tell me the Bucks defense is good. I guess I haven't seen that comment in a while, but they did it the start of the year. Man, I might try it. I tried it once. It was horrible. We'll see. But Kazim Smith, 5,500 yards almost, 45 touchdowns to 7 picks. Probably MVP, I would hope. Sacked 60 times still. Ooh, Trey Benson, maybe shouldn't have re-signed him. Only had a long rush of 9 yards. But 1,800 yards and 25 touchdowns for Marvin Harrison Jr. 1,200 for Christian Kirk. He's done a lot better than I expected. I guess we are in kind of a broken offense, but still. Almost 1,000 for Mims. McBride was really good. Paris Johnson, 20 sacks. That isn't even that bad for this offensive playbook, so I guess we'll keep him, as ridiculous as that is. Ooh, Richie was horrible at center. Meadows was low-key kind of horrible at right guard, too. We'll put Sharp back in. How about that? But Cody Simon led the team in tackles again. We'll see if he goes up to X Factor by the end of this. He might. Zaven Collins, 18 TFLs led the team. Sacks, 11.5 for Reddick, 10.5 for Collins, 7 for Allen. Picks, 3 for Baker, 2 for Simon, then 1 for 4 different players. 3 rookies. But can Kazim Smith win an MVP? He does. Okay, cool. Baker Mayfield on the Browns at number 6. Jared Goff at 10. He's been on the list every year, I think. But Marvin Harrison Jr. wins Offensive Player of the Year. The Bengals offense is so broken. Kazim Smith at 3. I feel like I'm cheating, but to be fair, we only went 9-8. Like, it's hard to say it's that broken. Oh, and Ethan Blythe takes Defensive Rookie of the Year. We'll take that. I'm kind of surprised. What did he do? 105 tackles, 8 TFLs, 2 sacks, and a pick. Pretty good. But this year, I see a lot of 9-8 teams in the playoffs, even for Madden. There were 7, including us. Just every team's mid because the simulation sucks. So truly, any team can beat any team. It looks like the best team was the 49ers at 14-3. Gross. The Raiders also up there again. The Bills. Chiefs finally did well, and the Jags were the worst team this year. The Commanders also down there, the Steelers, Rams, but I'm gonna switch to the Bucks defensive playbook. I don't know. I don't know a good one. I used to try the Patriots, then it started to do worse and worse when I tried it. We'll try the Bucks. Oh, we have the rare X Factor offensive lineman, Phillip Meadows. Did he gain it? Because linemen aren't supposed to be able to get X Factor. They can rarely. I don't think they can gain it, so he must have had it. Oh yeah, and Slate has Superstar. I kind of wish Blythe already had it because he won Defensive Rookie of the Year, probably would have gone up to X Factor, but oh well. But of course, in the playoffs, we are going to be taking on the Buccaneers. We are the higher overall team. Didn't do quite as well, go figure. But hey, it looks like the rare time the worst team in the league actually did the worst. The Jags are only an 82 overall, and they were the worst team. The Titans are also down there. The Lions and Chiefs are both 88s. They're the 2 highest. But all right, let's see if we can get our first playoff win of the rebuild. Not gonna be an easy one, probably. Their offense wasn't great, but their defense was, so we'll see what happens. We lose 27-21. But this is more of a league-focused rebuild challenge anyway, so let's see who wins the Super Bowl here. Could be interesting to see the Bucks win a Super Bowl now with Mac Jones, of course. I kind of wish they kept Jameis, but oh well. I don't think there's anything I can do about that. But we are gonna have a 49ers Titans Super Bowl. The Titans are in back-to-back Super Bowls. They upset the Raiders in the conference championship. So who is gonna win the third Super Bowl of this challenge? It is gonna be the 49ers. Super Bowl MVP was Jordan James. So now the Giants, Texans, and 49ers all have a Super Bowl win here. Definitely the three teams I would have predicted, for sure. But for re-signings, we have the 5th-year option for Walter Nolan. Of course, we still have to decide on Paris Johnson. I guess we'll bring him back. 4 years, 130. He does take it, thankfully. Budda Baker did gain X Factor. We'll go 2 years, 24. He doesn't take it. How much is a tag? 20 mil? We might do that. But Zach Allen, 3 years, 86. He takes it. But yeah, we'll tag Baker. Still with 84 mil left in cap space. Hopefully there's some good free agents. Okay, finally, there's some pretty good players here. Couple pass rushers, which we really don't need. TJ Hawkinson, who we really don't need. Ronnie Hickman at safety, who we probably don't need. Looks like Sam Darnold got let go by the Jets. Justin Fields, Daniel Jones, Spencer Rattler also here. Let me see, what individual player was bad on our defense, like in coverage? Looks like Jalen Thompson wasn't great. Played the most snaps, only 1 pass deflection, 1 pick. We'll try to sign Ronnie Hickman. We'll see. He does have 14 offers though, including us. I mean, if we don't get him, we also have Dadrian Taylor-Demerson we can try, but I think Hickman's the only player we're gonna go for. I guess we can maybe get Nubin if we don't get Hickman, but we'll see. I'm also curious to see where, you know, some of these players go. We do not get Ronnie Hickman. He goes to the Chargers. We've gotten kind of unlucky with free agents. Looks like Brian Burns goes to the Seahawks, TJ Hawkinson to the Titans. Danielle Hunter and Sam Darnold still haven't signed yet. Let's get to the end of free agency and we'll see where they go. Looks like Danielle Hunter goes to the Jets, Jalen Warren to the Packers, J.K. Dobbins to the Bengals, and Christian Wilkins. Sam Darnold, I had a feeling he was gonna go to the Seahawks. I should have said that. I don't know why, but I just thought they were gonna sign him, and they did. Terrion Arnold to the Broncos and Daron Payne. Interesting. But all right, let's get into the draft once again. We're once again gonna have to lean heavily on the draft because there wasn't really much that would have helped us in free agency. All right, we pick at 21 this year. The Jags obviously have the #1 pick. I don't know what I want to do in this draft. Ooh, that's kind of a rare sight. A projected UDFA talent, projected first-round lineman. That's something. Yeah, I guess I see it. This guy's good, though. Tyler Yates. Might have to take him. Ooh, or Damian Freeman, top 5 talent center. Or Diego Amaya, first-round talent guard, left guard. Okay, I was disappointed because we need an edge rusher. Hassan Reddick retired, but there really isn't a great one. Oh, Eric Flynn's actually better than I expected, but I don't know if we can get him. He probably won't be there by 21. I mean, he could be because there are at least 4 edge rushers. We'll see. If we don't get him, we at least have Jordan Birch, who has star dev. Okay, he did go, and I highly doubt there's going to be another one worth picking, like, at all for the rest of the draft. Elliott Bush doesn't look too bad. Might take him later, but he's probably like a 69, 70 overall. Let's just go with Daniel Freeman here, because, I mean, why not? I guess we could maybe get him later, but top 5 talent, I don't like risking it. Let's take him. I would guess he's like 4. He is 5. Okay. I thought he would be 4, because, I mean, he has a lot of A ratings, but he's good. Back-to-back years, we've gotten a top 5 talent lineman. I highly doubt we're going to get an X Factor again, but who knows? And pretty easy decision here, Diego Amaya. I know our defense was the issue with our team, but our offensive line wasn't great either. Ooh, actually, change of plans. I forgot I focus scouted these 2 safeties. Let's go with John Crowder. Unless Tucker's a crazy athlete. He's a decent athlete. Let's go with Crowder. Rank 18, hidden dev. Good pick. He's going to start this year. Now round 3. Are one of the good guards still here? There is Nathan Cook, 1st to 2nd round talent. And Chris Long, 1st to 2nd round talent. And Newman, but he's a little older. Let's go with Long. Honestly, I wouldn't guess that he's that good. Has F run block. I guess he has A impact block. That's why, and A awareness, but only B pass block. That's not horrible, but still. And I want to see, can we luck into a hidden dev edge rusher? Who was the one I liked? It was Bush. I don't even know if he's decent, but I just see he's an all right run defender, at least has B finesse moves. We'll see. He's not a great athlete though. Gabriel Kelly doesn't necessarily look great. He's already 24. Never mind. We'll just go with Bush. Whatever. It's not that important. Rank 137. That's about what I expected. No dev trait. I didn't see any edge rusher that looked even decent, so whatever. But here's how he did in this year's draft. Damian Freeman, 79 overall. Probably going to be our starting center this year because our center play wasn't great last year. I don't know what I've been doing lately, but for some reason, right after we check a player, I always go to check their stats. Like there's going to be anything there. I don't know why. I don't know what I'm trying to do. But John Crowder, 76 overall, of course, hidden dev. Chris Long, 75. Bush isn't great, but I also took Nathan Cook, the other first to second round talent guard. No dev trait. I never even checked, but still a good player. Really good depth to have. What's he ranked for right guards? 31st. Okay, I mean, could be better, could be worse. And I actually made every pick here. I just took Mahoney because he was a pretty good athlete. I took Ebert, whatever, because he was like the only edge rusher left with B power moves. And then I took Duke because he was fast. He's not all that good though. He's ranked like 236 or something. I don't know. But yeah, good draft. It looks like there were 381 overalls. 2 of them were tight ends. I might need to like lower how good tight end classes are. They seem a little strong even at normal. Like who's the last drafted tight end in real life that was worthy of an 81 overall as a rookie? The only one I can think of is like Kyle Pitts. Obviously hasn't necessarily lived up to that. I think he might be worthy of like an 81 overall currently, but you get what I mean. Like, I don't know why there are so many good tight ends. But all right, here we are heading into year 4. I'm debating on making this the final year just so I can get this video up to y'all on time, but we are an 88 overall. We have a lot of X factors on offense, 4 of them now. Obviously the Bengals offensive playbook helps with that. And then the defense is also looking pretty nice. I wish Hassan Reddick didn't retire, but I can't say I didn't expect it. Gotta hope Crowder does well as a rookie though. We're also gonna have a big rotation with the edge 2 spot. Birch, Bush, and Ebert or whatever. So we'll see how that goes, but Cody Simon has probably been our best defensive player. Didn't necessarily expect that, but he's been really good. But all right, let's get to the end of probably the final year. Unless we massively underperform, which I guess could happen. It is 2028, the cursed year, but we'll see what happens. Okay, in our final year, we end up going 13-4. Maybe the Bucs defensive playbook is good. 7th for defensive yards, not defensive yards, points per game allowed. Apparently the yards weren't great, but still good overall. Kazim Smith, 5,500 yards, 43 touchdowns, 8 picks. Only sacked 40 times with this offensive playbook. That might be the lowest I've ever seen, which is crazy because it's still 40, but still. 1,800 yards, 23 touchdowns for Marvin Harrison, 1,100 for Mims and A.D. Mitchell I signed out of free agency. I still have faith that he can be a good player despite what he did in the most recent Colts game. Let's see, I benched Tafoya and Villa at the midseason for Sharp and Long, and that worked out really well. And let's see, Cody Simon, 154 tackles, 20 TFLs for Collins led the team. Sacks, 13 for Zaven Collins, 4 for Elliott Bush. I thought it said Birch. I wouldn't have been that surprised, but Bush was pretty good. Should we give him all the edge snaps? I guess he did get 800. I wanted it to be a rotation, but apparently it wasn't. And finally, interceptions, 4 for Garrett Williams, 2 for Simon and Murphy, 1 for Baker. Nothing crazy, but could be worse. But will we get another Kazim Smith MVP? Probably. We do. Zach Payton for the Jags at 2, Sam Darnold back on the Seahawks at number 8. Kyler at 10 for the Saints. I mean, trading him definitely worked out for us, but interesting to see. Marvin Harrison Jr. wins another Offensive Player of the Year, though. It's almost getting boring. I wish we saw more movers or players going back to their original teams win awards, but I mean, it is what it is. They weren't super close, so us winning a lot didn't really change it. But Nick Bosa takes Defensive Player of the Year. Oh yeah, I forgot to check the AFC. I might have last year too. But Collins at 6, and then Elliott Bush number 2 for Defensive Rookie of the Year. I guess it doesn't really matter, but still. But AFC, nobody on offense, nobody on defense. Okay, well, I guess there was no point in me checking then. But all right, let's see how the rest of the league did in the final season. We were the best team in the league. The Bengals and Packers also went 13-4. I don't know if we've seen anyone do better than, I feel like we've had a 13-4 team be the best every year. Or were the 49ers 14-3 last year or something like, I don't know. But the Cowboys were the worst team. The Broncos and Jets were were also horrible. There were some really bad teams this year. But I do want to check. We're up to a 90 overall now. Where does that rank? Are we the highest overall team? I would guess so. It looks like we are. Second is actually... Oh, I thought I said the Patriots were an 89 for some reason. The Lions and the Texans. Did the Texans... Did either of those teams do well? The Lions at least went 11-6. The Texans only went 8-9. The lowest overall teams are the Dolphins. I feel like they've been down here this whole rebuild. Panthers, Patriots, Steelers. I guess kind of predictable teams at the start of this. Teams that aren't necessarily, you know, doing too great in real life. The Steelers got Kenny Pickett as their starting QB here. The Patriots, I guess, kind of surprises me, but whatever. But let's get into our final playoff run, and let's hope we can win this Cardinals team a Super Bowl. We've turned them into the highest overall team from the lowest. That's good, but that's not really going to matter if we don't get lucky and win a Super Bowl here. But we are going to be taking on last year's Super Bowl champion, the San Francisco 49ers, in the divisional. Don't know how this is going to go. We do beat them 28-25. I think that's our first playoff win of the rebuild, finally. And we are going to be taking on the Commanders here. At one point, the lowest overall team in the league. I think they had the #1 pick one year. If they did, it was probably like a couple minutes ago for y'all, but it's been hours for me. But they did well this year. But let's see, can we make a Super Bowl in the final season? We can. I'm not cheating. Let me show y'all I'm not cheating. It seems too good to be true. No force wins, but I spoiled it for myself there on accident. We are going to be taking on the Indianapolis Colts at only an 86 overall in the Super Bowl. Is this a Super Bowl rematch? No, why did I think this was a Super Bowl rematch? What's the connection between these teams? I don't know. Edgerrin James played for both of them. That's literally all I can think of. Bruce Arians, I guess, right? I don't know, whatever. Let's jump in here. We need a long snapper. Jameis Winston, get ready to learn long snapper. We'll make Trey McBride our starting long snapper, sure. But we'll jump in and watch this simulate. Can we get a Super Bowl win in our final year? Either way, it's going to be another new Super Bowl winner, but we'll see what happens. But all right, here we go in the Super Bowl. This is a unique one. I don't know that I've ever seen a Colts-Cardinals Super Bowl. Oh, and it is pouring rain. Ooh, looks like a hurricane. This is going to be an interesting one. We'll see what happens. Let's jump to the end of the game. It looks like we do score first, making it 3-2. The Colts get a safety and a field goal. We're leading 10-5 in the second quarter. Make that 24-5. We score back-to-back very quickly. The Colts aren't doing a lot out here. We are up. Was there another safety? 33-22, 39-22. Yeah, this is the weirdest Super Bowl I've ever seen by a mile. Colts Cardinals, pouring rain, probably scoregami, 39-22, 2 safeties at least, one for each team. What an interesting rebuild. Subscribe if you enjoyed.